And we're going to discuss this now with Michael Purcell. He's an adjunct professor at George Washington University, teaching Russia and international security. Thank you so much for your time. What is your reaction to this back and forth between the U.S. and Ukrainian leaders, and now also from officials, as we heard there in the U.S. administration?
I think anybody with an interest in seeing peace between Russia and Ukraine and seeing Ukraine regain its territory is disappointed, frustrated, and I think, frankly, confused by the war of words over the past 48 hours. I hope we're seeing right now an attempt by both sides to move away from that and move towards the substance of coming negotiations.
But Michael, how does this war of words impact ceasefire negotiations? There's already been the meeting between Russian and U.S. officials. Of course, Ukraine and the EU, they weren't at that meeting, but it doesn't mean that they won't be part of talks later down the road. But this war of words right now could, of course, impact that.
I think it certainly has and will. Even if amongst the officials, they can step back and take a breath and re-engage on more positive terms. Both President Trump and President Zelenskyy, both legitimately elected, both popular with their electorates, have to consider not just negotiations with other states, but also their ability to move their own populations towards a negotiated end state, meaning that they have to support each other in respect to convincing their respective publics that this is a deal ultimately that will make sense for everybody. So this was a step backwards. The insults are pointless, and I think I certainly won't engage in trying to sort of sane wash any logic onto essentially what President Trump started.
How do you think Russia is viewing all of this now? Because it does seem that they may have the upper hand.
I wouldn't go that far, right? Russia continues to be a weak, or at least have a weak hand in terms of the negotiations. Ultimately, I think they probably are quite happy to see the U.S. and Ukraine have discord. It only strengthens their position. But again, let's look past that. I hope we get past that and understand that Russia is certainly not in a strong position here. This war serves no purpose on their end other than to restrict their economic growth, isolate them internationally. And that's the really important perspective.
But Russia may be satisfied if a deal comes about that actually does see Ukraine having to cede some of the land that they've already lost, especially in the eastern parts of the country.
If we get into the tactical and operational situation, Russia continues to occupy Ukrainian land. They've invested significant blood and treasure in achieving that. But of course, Ukraine occupies a part of Russian land. And I don't expect that the Russians will back out of that easily. And I think some of the frustration by those of us that have dealt with Russia over the decades is that the Trump administration went in from a soft position in normalizing relations, or at least offering to normalize relations, seemingly. And that unto itself would be a victory for Russia, and I think put us in danger of sort of encouraging Russia to continue to push in this illegitimate war on Ukraine.
Michael Purcell, really great to get your thoughts live to us there from the U.S. Capitol. Thank you.
Thank you.